Heard you.
Okay, I'm here. Boom shakalaka. You already know the rivalry. It's KVN who run the city. It's tea time. It's Big Fan Breezy. We in here. Uh, Hopefully my internet bear with me. I've been having technical difficulties this morning. You know what I mean? But shout out to everybody in the chat. Brockwork, we see you. JJ, we already know. Leaf, we see you. Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
we here, man. I guess I'll start since we had a game last night. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Knicks is doing what they're supposed to do, washing up the teams they're supposed to be washing up, not making these games close. Uh, the Charlotte Hornets is not on our level, and we got to keep on proving that the teams that's not on our level. Uh, Jalen Brunson is starting to round back in the form, looking like a potential All Star candidate. Uh, Julius Randle playing. I think what Jalen had 32 last night. He had 30 something the game before that, if I'm not mistaken. Julius Randle rounding in the form as well, starting to look more like himself, uh, opposed to the first five games. RJ Barrett last night came back from missing 3 or 4 games due to they said it's a migraine, but I think it might have been a little bit more something else, something different. But games to due to a migraine, and he was back in the lineup last night. Uh, but the big story from the game last night was Dante DiVincenzo being interjected into the starting lineup due to Quentin Grimes being injured with a sprained wrist, dropping 25 on them boys, uh, doing the things that we know he could do, improving the front office right for signing him. To use Nick fans' words, giving him all that money. I don't believe that we gave him a lot of money, but yeah, he's proven his worth on the dollar. You feel me? Barry was good. I almost didn't
What up,
recognize that
Barry?
was Barry. I'm not used to seeing Barry picture in the Avies. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. What up,
Yeah,
Angelo Blue? I
Angelo was
see.
good. Yeah, yeah. But I'm not gonna be long winded on absolutely smoking a team that we supposed to have smoked. But Emmanuel quickly is proven to continue to be a spark plug off the bench. Uh, I think he had 20 again last night off the bench, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean it's an overall well-rounded win. Mitchell Robinson continually dominate in the paint. Uh, we gonna get into more stuff. I'm just gonna hand the floor over to Big Fan
Mm.
Breezy so he could talk his shit.
Well, shout out to Tea Time. Shout out to all the Knicks fans and Nets fans in the chat. I see y'all. Listen, my predictions was 2 out of 3. I said 3 out of 3. I thought we could beat Miami. They were clicking on all cylinders. They was a tough act. I felt like the refs gave him a little help by making CJ foul trouble that entire game. Anytime he got any type of rhythm or momentum, he got a foul and he got sacked. He was a big reason on why we couldn't, stay compete with them point wise. For the most part, 2 out of 3 from last week. I'm happy with that as a fan. You know what I mean? If we would have went 3 out of 3, I would say, yeah, that'd be ideal. I think we need to go on a run. We 6-6, we right in the middle. But I don't think our record reflects on how good the Brooklyn Nets really are. We 3-3 without Cam Thomas. We 2-1 with Nick Claxton, and the significance of Nick Claxton, me mentioning him, is that we fell on defense, even in blocks. Last season we were partly because of KD, but mainly because of Nick Claxton. We were like one of the better teams in blocks. When I checked, we maybe 15, 16, something like that. What is surprising about the Brooklyn Nets is the rebounding. We don't have a dominant rebounder per se, like a Mitchell Robinson. He looked like he just out rebounding teams at this fucking point. You know what I mean? So we don't necessarily have somebody like that. But with Jack Vaughn's coaching style of group rebounding, it puts us in a situation where we're fourth in the league in rebounding. Now, I don't remember the last time that the Nets were a top 5, but before the end of this podcast, I'll find out. I don't remember the last time the Nets were a top 5 rebounding team. But it's refreshing. it's refreshing to see teams not get second chance points. It's refreshing to see like a one and done. You know, we contest a shot, we play good defense the whole way through, contest a shot, and get the defensive rebound. Part of the reason it looked like one of the Knicks' strengths, not to say their entire strength, but one of their strengths. And I know this because I did see the other game the other day. I think, well, the last part of it with Atlanta, I had turned to the game and I see Mitch Robinson get a big offensive rebound in the fourth quarter, kick it out to Jalen Brunson for three, and you guys won that game. So case in point is that's how the Nets will lose a lot of their games. And it happened to us earlier this season with the Bucks with Brook Lopez kind of pushing out a rebound to Giannis for him to take a second three-pointer. And when he knocked down that second three-pointer, it kind of opened the lead up late in the fourth quarter where we lost that game. Again, emphasis on the rebounding. Jacque Vaughn's coaching style has implemented a group rebounding system, and I think we're going to continue to be one of the top 5 to top 10 rebounding teams in the NBA. You know, again, it's not a dominant rebounder that we have, or like a Nick Claxton or Daron Sharp. You know, they grab rebounds, they do, but we don't have a, you know, per se like a 20 rebounder guy. Excuse me, there's nobody grabbing 20 boards, or even for the most part 15 boards. You'll have 8 from this guy, 6 from this guy, 4 from this guy, another 10 from this guy, you know, that kind of thing. That's where the Brooklyn Nets are. Again, not to be long-winded, but yeah, and I feel like Lonnie Walker, based on what I've seen out of these 12 games, he's going to be in that conversation. I know you said quickly is in that 6-man conversation. I think Lonnie Walker is too. We discussed this last week. I think there's a rivalry that we will continue to have. But to land the plane, what I will say is this is why I was saying that Cam Thomas is more important to the Brooklyn Nets than Quentin Grimes is to the New York Knicks. With Cam Thomas not in the lineup, he's our 1A offense. I wouldn't consider that the situation with, you know, the Knicks and him being number 1 on offense. And I checked the stats before I pulled up this. I know this. The Knicks are number 1 in defense, and that's what Grimes out of the lineup. So, you know, I'm not saying that he's not an important piece. I'm saying Cam Thomas is more important to the Brooklyn Nets than Quentin Grimes is to the New York Knicks. But, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'll get into the 76er game in a minute, but I'm happy that we are better rebounding teams. It makes us overall a better team. And yeah, man, shout out to the chat. I see you, Leaf. I see you, Andre76. I see you, Jay Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? What's up, y'all? Nets fans is the best fans.
Cap. Yeah, but you know, when we talk about rebounding, we got this guy named Mitchell Robinson. I think he's averaging about like 12 boards a game so far this season. He's top 3 in rebounding, offensive rebounding by himself as a team, right? Like, you got the first place team, you got the second place team, then you got Mitchell Robinson as the third place in offensive rebounds this season. He just moved up into third place, I think, all time as Knicks offensive rebounders. Yeah, and I think by Coach Tommy T said by the time it's all said and done, he'll be number 1, which is super dope. Mitchell Robinson himself, offensive rebounding wise, I think he's at like 70 something, and the next person underneath him is at like 50, like low 50s. Like, it's absolute domination what he's doing on the offensive glass. And it's helping us win ball games. You know, second chance points is a big deal. And that to be able to rely on somebody to give you 6 to 7 second chance opportunities a game is kind of huge. Pause. And then not to shy away from his back, good offensive rebounder. And you getting 6 from him, and you might get another 2 to 3 from Hartenstein. Sometimes you might from your center position alone, you might be looking at about 10 second chance opportunities from just your centers, right? And that's a dope stat to have. And that's not mentioning Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo, who's also crashing the offensive glass and getting a second chance opportunities, which is fire. Uh, but my team is doing well, and on both ends of the ball, the Knicks are the 10th rated offense in the NBA currently, and we are top 5 rated defense. We're number one in points per game, if I'm not mistaken. Number one or number two in opponents' points per game. But defensive rating wise, we're rated 5. Offensive rating wise, we're rated 10. And if this trend continues, there's no reason to not believe that we can't make a major push, because it's not too many teams in the NBA that are top 10 in both offense and defense. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that's important. To be equally as good on both sides of the ball is dope. And the way we do that, especially on the offensive end, is everything is team oriented. There's a way that we've been moving the basketball. Over the last 5 to 6 games, I believe we're averaging like 27 assists a game or something like that. 20 between 25 and 27. I ain't got the exact stats in front of me. My Wi-Fi in the crib is acting funny, so I wasn't able to pull up my stats. But yeah, I believe that we about like averaging like 20 between 25 and 27 assists a game, and that's important. Everybody is chipping in for W's. You're getting the consistency from Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, but then it's always a third or fourth person that's stepping up and having a major night. Last night it was Dante DiVincenzo. The night before that it was Emmanuel Quickly. And that's the trend that we need to keep on having. RJ Barrett's back in the lineup. We can expect him to get back to giving us 20 points a game. And that's dope to have. You got 3 guys in your starting lineup that can average 20 points a game, and then you got multiple guys off the bench on any given night that give you 15 plus. And that's dope to see. The reason why I'm being long winded. I'm gonna land the plane.
No, go ahead.
And the reason why I believe the defense is doing well is because we're playing. I give Coach Tommy T a lot of flack, in years before, but now that I'm back to rewatching the game and like actually studying the defense for what it is, one problem that we was having before is that perimeter wise, we weren't keeping guys out of the paint, and they were attacking Mitchell Robinson, and it kind of hurt us. But what's making it so good is that, and I said this last night, I used to complain about Coach Tommy T playing drop coverage with Mitchell Robinson. I'm like, this is stupid. We get killed playing drop coverage. But the reason why drop coverage is played because Coach Tommy T's defensive scheme is for Mitchell Robinson to show on the pick and roll, to stop the guard or whoever's receiving the pick from penetrating in the paint, pause, and for that person to fight over the screen, right? And first of all, we only do Who Run the City once a week. That's right. We only do Who Run the City once a week. But if you want to see me more often, you're welcome to come and watch me on Nixon Ish. You know what I mean? If you want to see me more than once a week, you're welcome to come over to Nixon Ish and watch me and the rest of the panel talk our shit. But we only here once a week for Who Run the City League. Relax, my good brother. I understand your team just lost the game and you feeling a little bit kind of a way that we went in and got lost. You know what I mean? I understand, but that's no reason to take it out on me, good brother. Pause.
He talking
But like I
about
was,
KVN live. He talking about KVN live for sure.
yeah, but we only do it once a week.
No. He's not talking about this episode, this podcast. He's talking about when we all grouped together like we did those other times. I think he talking
Oh,
about that. He missed that more than anything.
oh yeah. I popped out to those too, but nigga be having to work, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, but like I was saying, you know, I was complaining about Coach Tommy T in drop coverage, but I understand the defensive scheme now. Is more of Mitchell Robinson is supposed to show to stop the guard from penetrating off the pick, and then it's the guard's duty to get back in a position to defend his man. So
Mm-hmm.
Mitchell Robinson could stay attached to the 5 and potentially get rebounds or help defend around the rim. Uh, and we're doing that better. Yeah, I mean, we're doing that better. from a guard standpoint. The guys are starting to fight over these screens and defending their position well. And and we having Mitchell Robinson altering shots at the rim is a big deal too. And we contesting 3-point shots better. And I'm gonna leave it there because I've been long winded.
Listen, man, it is what it is. Leaf know what it is. All the Nets fans know what it is. I mean, for the most part, my thing is, with a healthy roster, I expect one thing, and without a healthy roster, I expect another thing. Now, yeah, granted, we didn't have a healthy roster, but I did expect for us to win some of those games. I felt like in those clutch situations, there was games we could have won. With 6-6, I feel like we could have been 8-4. You know what I mean? 7-5, 8-4, around there. Definitely one or two more games. I feel like we could have won. But I like the fact that we, for lack of better words, you know what I mean, had this tough schedule early in the season. I feel like it was good for the Brooklyn Nets to see, what we got as a team, and the identity of the Brooklyn Nets is more of a team now than it is KD and Kyrie era or some kind of soliloquy about how it's their team and everything they've done on other teams and what they're going to do with this team. So I like the approach. I like the of the Brooklyn Nets. I like the identity of the Brooklyn Nets, which is we went younger. We look to push the pace, be a faster team, and definitely a better rebounding team. I feel like we focused on the culture this season, and again, I feel like we aren't in the championship conversations because we don't have stars on our team. We can change that narrative once we're healthy. Once we're healthy, right now you could say nobody besides Ben Simmons was a superstar on our team. Excuse me. And I gotta walk back what I said about Ben Simmons. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. I said what I said about Ben Simmons when before he was a Brooklyn Nets, and I said a lot about Ben Simmons when he was a Brooklyn Nets. And I want to be optimistic, but I have to have integrity in what it is that I do. So respectfully, Ben Simmons isn't a reliable player, and when he is available, I don't think he's aggressive enough going to the basket. I mean, you have to keep the defense honest. You're a 6'10" point guard. If you just pressure on the rim, you can keep them honest by not cheating in the passing lanes. If the defense know you're going to pass, they know you're not going to attack for the most part, they can cheat. And if you put the defense in a situation where they could cheat, they're going to cheat. They're going to predict what we're going to do, where we're going to go. And, Ben Simmons, he ultimately can be a big catalyst of us winning or not. You know what I mean? So him not being in the lineup, I'm not as upset as I thought I would be. I'm kind of expecting it as a fan, being a fan of the Brooklyn Nets. I'm a fan of the Brooklyn Nets. Am I a fan of the Ben Simmons? Not so much. You know what I'm saying? I think the best ability is availability, and I would like to see him do well. There was a lot of trade packages. People like, oh, would you do this? Would you do that? And my final answer is that opposed to trading him, I would like to see him more available and more aggressive. If he could be more available and more aggressive, I think that's more beneficial to the Brooklyn Nets opposed to just trading him. But if he can't be more available and more aggressive going to the paint, then again, the Brooklyn Nets, you never know what they're going to do in the front office. It's hard to say. We'll see. But CJ, I like CJ. I like what he do for the Brooklyn Nets. I like and we don't call him Cam because we don't want to confuse Cam Thomas with Cam Johnson, pause or whatever. But yeah, CJ, he's good. He's definitely good. He can create a shot somewhat. He's more of a 3-and-D player with a little bit of handle where he could get past his defender, but not much. But you gotta respect his pump fake, so he can create a shot off of a pump fake. Get into the midi or maybe getting around the screen or a pick. So that being said, yeah, there's things that I like about this team, and there's things that I will want us to work on. Now, Jock Vaughn, him running that 9-10 man rotation, I'm still impressed. Sometimes I wish he would have played this player instead of that player, but for the most part, I like it. Now you got fans saying, "Oh, we should play Harry Giles." He's good. I've seen him on the floor at the same time with Ben Simmons, and they played great. He played like one game in the preseason, and he hasn't been back. That being said, they're giving those minutes to Day'Ron Sharpe. Day'Ron Sharpe at the beginning of the season, he's ascended somewhat. I think his defense could be better on the perimeter. He gets cooked by guards. It's hard for him to guard the guards, and when they, putting pressure on the rim, but he definitely good around the rim, grabbing rebounds for sure. He may not be as, excellent as a Mitchell Robinson, but he does his fair share of grabbing offensive rebounds. Definitely gave us situations where we had second chance points. Definitely has situations where Day'Ron stepped up big in the rebounding side, and part of the reason why we in the top 5 in rebounding is because of Day'Ron Sharpe. So Day'Ron Sharpe, he's kind of showing up early. Lonnie Walker definitely going to be the six man of the year conversation all season long. Cam Thomas, of course, I can't say enough about him, but they said that he's predicted to be back on the 22nd, which would be like Wednesday or something like that. I'm not sure he's back by then, but I just know our offense is very different without Cam Thomas on the floor. And I'll speak to that briefly. Lonnie Walker has stepped up in the absence of Cam Thomas. Spencer he's on and off. Like, he'll be hot one night, and then the next game he'll be cold. So, it's different. It's streaky with Spencer. Far as trade packages, I shy away from these conversations because, again, the Brooklyn Nets, very hard to say what they will and won't do. That being said, I like our defense, and I feel like that Nick Claxton, since he's back, we went up a few notches. We were 22nd without Nick Claxton. Now we're 15th. I expect consistent improvement on the defensive side of the ball with Claxton back in the lineup. They said he's healthy, he's ready to go. He hasn't had no hiccups or no shit like that. So with us, by this time next week, when we do our podcast next week, I think that we will be a top 10 defense with contingent of Nick Claxton being on the lineup. Right now, we're ranked 15th, right in the middle of the league. But, I imagine we get better soon. We play Philly today. That's going to be a tough act. Let's call it what it is. That's going to be a tough act. Philly been giving us work for about 2-3 seasons now. You know what I'm saying?
But this season they've been giving everybody work.
Yeah. Listen, I just sidebar. I don't know what happened with Kelly Oubre. They said he got hit by a car, but then they said it was something different.
It was cat. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's that situation about, but I do contribute their success to him being on the team and Nick Nurse. It looked like Nick Nurse is head and shoulders a better coach than Doc Rivers. Yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah.
All right, so first I want to backtrack before we start talking about Philly. I want to backtrack to Ben Simmons, man. Y'all thought we was hating. Y'all really thought we was hating when we was talking about Ben Simmons, bro. Y'all really thought we was hating.
Man.
But bro, I think there's one thing about a back injury, right? Is that it's one of those injuries that you can't prove is false. You know what I mean? Because it's so complex, the back pause, right? It's such a complex thing, the nervous system and all that. Mm-hmm. All somebody got to say is, ow, it hurts. There's nothing a doctor could do or say to be like, yeah, nah, he ain't hurt. You feel me? So I just really think Ben Simmons is broken, right? I think he played enough where he could still get his check. And this is what you probably going to get from him the rest of the season. He's going to play a few games, then he's going to be hurt. He's going to play a few games, then he's going to be hurt. And the reason why I say this is because I believe he has the athletic ability to still play basketball at a high level. But he's broken. Because if you look at the way he rebounds the ball, he's still a quality defender, a high-quality defender. He can still pass the rock. The only thing in his game that is suffering is him being aggressive and shooting the basketball. To me, that has a lot to do with confidence. Because if you could sprint up and down the court, bro, you can't tell me you can't make a layup. You feel me? You can't tell me you can't make a 5 to 10 foot shot. You feel me? Like, if you could, I've seen him run up and down the court. And I'm like, don't look like his back hurting. It don't look like his back hurting. You right? So I think y'all stuck with Ben Simmons. I
till
think
next
he's a
season.
put. I think he's a put. Yeah, this is his last. This is contract year.
Nah, but amnesty clause like a motherfucker next season, man. As soon as it's possible,
So
bro.
yeah,
If you don't want
so
to play, you shouldn't be on this team.
that's available for y'all next season.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So yeah, y'all stuck with him until next season because ain't nobody and they ain't no GM in a right mind is taking Ben Simmons with that contract with a back injury. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Not happening. But moving on to Philly, Kelly Oubre, he's a wild boy. You know what I mean? But I
Mm-hmm.
don't think their success is contingent on him playing. Tyrese Maxey is absolutely balling out of control.
Yep.
Absolutely balling out of control. And Joel Embiid is doing what he does. You feel me? Their success is contingent on those two guys playing well. And also, the likes of what's the boy? Tobias Harris being solid. They don't need him to be great. They just need him to be solid. And the rest of their role players to be solid. But Kelly Oubre's a wild boy. He's a wild boy. I said before the season started that I expected Philly to, slide in the standings, but that was contingent on James Harden still being a part of the team. I said if James
Right,
Harden's a part
man.
of
That's
that
the
team,
same thing.
they're not going to be good. They got rid of James Harden, and now these niggas is balling out, looking like championship contenders for real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, they 9-3. They playing really well. You know what I mean? And they're putting up a lot of points, and that's largely because Maxey dropped 50 on somebody the other day. It was crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah,
I said
crazy.
the same thing. I said Maxi is the process now. He's the. Yeah, I need to build around him. They tried to build around Embiid and got all of the pieces that they could get. And I'm not saying they did bad, but Maxi's the future. Embiid is now, Maxi's the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like Embiid and Maxey as a 1-2 punch. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they make them really tough to beat. You know, do I think they're gonna win a championship this year? I don't know. I don't. I'm gonna have to say I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they need that their next consistent scorer. You feel me? Like, I,
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking at Tobias Harris to be your third scorer and be consistent, I don't know if that works for championship aspirations. You feel me? Like, I've
Mm-hmm.
seen Tobias Harris disappear completely in playoff games. You know what I mean? But y'all
Mm-hmm.
having to play them tonight, I
Yeah,
ain't
we
gonna
about to
lie,
play
man.
them in a few minutes, man. We play them at
Oh,
3 o'clock.
I ain't gonna lie, man. That's looking like an L, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man. Like,
It is what it is,
and
man.
and it, and that's just because they playing so good. That's not even a knock on y'all as a team. I'm just saying uh that they just so good. I can't see y'all beating them. So one thing we skipped over, what your predictions were like for the last week, bro.
Oh, I told you mine. Mine was 2-3. I mean, I was accurate. I said 3-3, but I realistically gave us, elbow room for a loss. Like, yeah, it could happen. With Kim Thomas not being in the lineup, I don't want to cap. You know what I mean? He impacts our offense. But to answer your question, I was accurate. I said 2 for 3. We won 2 out of 3. We lost to Miami, but
Yeah.
we beat the other teams. It's like we beat the teams we were supposed to beat. Miami, they played a really good game. I feel like the refs, you know what I mean? They kept CJ in foul trouble. So I'm saying, but Jimmy, we ain't had nothing for Jimmy Butler. And again, not to pour salt on the wound because I am a Nets fan, but this is the reason why I'm upset at Ben Simmons. I'm on that big brother type shit. Like if he was here, that wouldn't have happened. But you're not available. But he's supposed. We don't need Macau to guard Jimmy Butler. He too light. You don't need Royce O'Neal. He too slow. You know what I'm saying? So Ben Simmons would be the guy that covered the best offensive player, and he wasn't there in that fight with us. So as a fan, I get frustrated. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
Yeah.
bro, he's exactly why we need you on the team for you to guard him. And Giannis busted his ass not too long ago, but not to. I'll do that on the next page. Shout out to you, Ben Simmons. You know what I'm saying? But as fans, we just want to see you more available and more aggressive. But we were 2-3 in my predictions. I was 100. I was
Yeah.
100%. What about yours?
Uh, I was right. I had us what 2-1. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because we we played last night. We supposed to did the pod before our game yesterday, but I had us 2-1, and I was right. We lost to the Boston Celtics. That was the game that I had us losing. Uh, and we did exactly what I said we was going to do to the other teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pack them up. You feel me? We made the Hawks game a little bit more interesting than it needed to be, but when it all came down to it, we won, and that makes me happy. Uh, Beat the Hornets the first game of the week, which was Sunday. We beat them by like
Love it.
22. Packed them up, lost to the Celtics in a tough game. Uh, we fought all the way to the end pretty much. Then the Hawks. Every time we beat the Hawks, I get a whole lot of satisfaction because Trae Young's been trying to live off of that playoff series for forever. Coming to, well, I think it was last season or the season before, coming to the Garden with uh, the King of Broadway sneakers on, and then
Wow.
consistently getting packed up and consistently getting packed up since then. It's kind of crazy, right? Like, how you gonna say
Mm-hmm.
you the King of Broadway, but you have a 5-14 record against the Knicks
Nasty
in the
work.
regular season, right? Like, so to watch and to watch him play bad on top of that, it's not like we're beating him and he's having great games. He's having horrible
Mhm.
performances. So
Yeah,
it's
they're
beautiful to
losing
be,
because of the defense y'all put on them.
yeah. So it's beautiful to
Yeah.
be up 2-0 again, another season on him. Uh, Washington, they're bad, bro. They're bad. Washington is bad, bro. Like,
They are. Poole don't give a
whoever,
fuck.
bro. No, I think he really think he's better than what he really is, bro.
They calling him Jacuzzi.
Yeah.
It's bad.
yo, yo, I
It's
said it last night on Knicks ish. I said, yo, that his physical transformation, like with his hair and his mustache. I said, yo, it reminds me of something. It reminds me of when Kyrie left Cleveland. That's
mm-hmm.
the same exact look Kyrie had. He had the
Mm-hmm.
mustache and he had the afro. I said, I believe Jordan Poole is corny enough to do that. Like, think that this is my Kyrie moment to run my own team. But he's not that guy. And the reason why I was happy to beat the Wizards the way we did is because who in preseason when guys are not trying hard, he was trying hard. He put a 40 on us in the Garden in preseason, but it's preseason. I'm like, yo, who tries to score 40 in preseason? So I
Mm-hmm.
say, yo, the last live we did on Knicks is before the game. I said, I want to see what he does when everybody's trying now, when we're
Mm-hmm.
really playing defense. And he did 8 points. That's what he did. 8 points.
Yeah.
In a large part of the fourth quarter, his coach had him on a bench.
Mm. Nasty work.
Shackles. Kyle Kuzma is even looking disgusted. He was looking disgusted in that game, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was going back
Yes.
to the bench. He was going back to the bench upset.
Mm-hmm.
He might look. Jordan Poole might get knocked out again. Kyle
Mm-hmm.
Kuzma might knock Jordan Poole out again.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Kuzma, he
it,
got that. Both of them both won championships, but and I know he wanted to beat us. You know, when we played them,
yeah,
we played the Wizards too, and I could tell Kuzma took the game serious, but Poole, not so much, man. I don't. He's trash. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be professional as possible. He don't care about the game no more. You know what I'm saying? I think he's
yep.
just. I'm not. I'm not a
So,
Poole fan. I'm not.
so my thing is this, right? This is my thing with Jordan Poole. I made a comparison. Like, Jordan Poole to me is more like a J.R. Smith type of player. Got the skills to do really great things, but you're
Mm-hmm.
just not that guy. You feel me? Like, J.R.
Mm-hmm.
Smith, amazing talent, could do a lot of things. Athletic, could score, could shoot, can all those things. But he's just not that guy. And I feel like that's Jordan Poole. I think Jordan Poole has a great skill set. He can handle the ball. He can shoot. He can go to the basket. But he's just not that guy. I don't think he has the mental makeup to be that guy. You have to be a different breed of person to lead a team to success. You feel me? And I don't think he has that makeup. Listen, man, you could be professional all you want. I'm petty, and I think things are hilarious. And anybody who will pay Ice Spice 500,000 to go on a date or spend 500,000 on a date with Ice Spice is a goofy and doesn't have what it takes to be great at a leader in basketball. That's poor, you know, because that's poor decision making. That's what that is. That's poor decision making. If you make a decision like that off the field, you can't be making good decisions on the field. I mean, on the court. In the words of Mace, you should have just bought her a pizza.
Right. She gonna take that 500K.
Could have got her a pizza. Jordan Poole. Oh man, it was happy. I was happy to see us wash them up. Mr. Porn Star Mustache. Happy we packed him up.
That's funny
because thinking that he did something in the garden with Pooh said that was Cap. I listen, it could be. You know, they make up stuff all the time, but I'm petty enough to run with the rumor on that one. But yeah, packed him up. And you know what else is dope too? And we beat Charlotte Hornets again by a lot. You know what's dope too is watching the Knicks fans in these opposing arenas take over. That's a beautiful thing to see. End of the Washington game, you heard loud as day, "Let's go Knicks" chants in their arena. And to the point that it even had one of Avia, I think is the guy name. You're talking about how angry it makes him to hear opposing teams come in and take over the arena. Well, get used to it, buddy. You guys stink. You guys stink. And Knicks fans travel well and were boisterous. You feel me? And guess what happened the very next day? Packing up the Hornets. You hear what again? Loud, "Let's go Knicks" chants in their arena. If y'all upset too, guess what? You guys stink. And the Knicks fans travel well and we're boisterous. And the point that is no kickback from the home fan base in both games is kind of hilarious to me. You know what I mean? Like, they just letting it happen. I've seen fan bases go to the Garden and the Barclays and try to do that same thing and get booed. The boos outweigh the chants, right? Like, it'll start and then you hear all the boo right after, right? It didn't happen in these cases. And it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to see. I love making opposing teams salty, and I hope we keep winning.
Oh, you before I go, you want to address that? I think you're talking about the Suns. They play the Knicks.
Oh, put on a show. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Are y'all still losing games y'all supposed to be winning? Hold on. What is the Suns' record right now?
There was a solid 6-6.
Oh, you talking about the team that we got a better record than right now is going to come and put on a show.
Who played more games, Barry, Bill, or Ben Simmons?
You know, listen, bro. Yeah, is Bill even playing? No, he out, right?
Out for 3 weeks. Barry talking spicy about stealing money. Bill looked like he got on a mask too. Bill looked like he, you know what I mean? Motherfucking I Spy. You know that little motherfucker with the trench coat? Motherfucking sneaking around, swiping that money over there in Phoenix.
Yo, Jay, this is facts, right? And we packed Wemby up in the Garden. Packed him up. He had an awful night. My man Mitchell Robinson had him in jail. He was in hell that whole night, right? But what he did to the Suns, gave y'all buckets, packed y'all up twice. Yeah. So y'all talk about y'all coming to the Garden to cook. KD and Book might cook, but they going home with an L, homie. They're going home with an L.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So be prepared. Be prepared. Be
Yeah.
around, Barry. That's all I'm gonna say too. Don't go on the hiding too. Be around.
Oh yeah, now Barry funny for that, because he be running around with Knicks fans and Nets fans. So he comes to my page and I told him, you should tread lightly. But what he do? Ignores every warning that I have as a Nets fan. So he comes over there, he's like,
How
"Oh,
much, Barry? My fault. How much? Now you talking my lingo, bro. You feel me? Now you talking my lingo. How much, Barry?
Jay
That's all.
saved him. Jay saved him, bro. Like Barry got the audacity to ask T Tom to bet money when Jay was like, "Yo, I'm trying to help you," because he was talking spicy after the Spurs game. Like, "Oh, that's one
Copy.
game.
My
They
fault.
play him the
Sorry for
next
keep on
game."
cutting you off. But copy, Barry.
He
Bet on.
says, "Yeah, that he asked Jay, oh, you want to bet?" But Jay didn't want to bet because it wasn't the Brooklyn Nets. But they lost to the Spurs twice. And Barry act like he didn't know he did the stream. We waited for Barry. The whole panel was waiting to see him again. Fried him to a fricassee. Now, case in point is KD talk like he like that, and he'll leave teams and talk shit about the teammates that he was playing with, like he did the Brooklyn Nets. That's why I don't be having love for him. And I feel like he's been chasing LeBron his whole career. I mean, even to the point where, and correct me if I'm wrong, last championship LeBron got was with Frank Vogel. Then what happens? KD, he needs to fire a coach that went to the finals. It's different from firing Steve Nash, but you want to fire Monty Williams, who was impressive with the Suns before KD got there. You get him fired for Vogel, and that's the last coach. It's like you chasing LeBron. You trying to say that I could do what LeBron do, and you cannot. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, Barry. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, KD and KD fans, y'all don't get no love. You get no chicken, no rice, no soy sauce. Y'all get nothing over here. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Y'all 6-6 and y'all stink. Y'all supposed to be 1 through 14, and just how easily things can change, Barry. KD's not on the team no more, bro, and I told you that. So again, I'm not warning you no more. You know what's going on my page. You know what happens there. So it is what it is. You want to pull up acting like it's sweet? At your own risk, buddy.
Yo, Barry. Yo, listen. You know what's different this time with KD? Evan Fournier not gonna be guarding him this time.
Evan Fournier. He's still on your team?
Yeah, he is. But he played one game. he played one game because we was dealing with injuries, so he got some PT and he got hurt.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Can't make it up. But yeah, nah, we gonna pack y'all up, bro. We're gonna pack y'all up. It's gonna be
we
bad.
Could get to the. You want to get to the predictions since he mentioned the game. What's the predictions for the next week? Up until next week.
Absolutely. I know we play the Timberwolves on Monday. That's gonna be a tough game. Timberwolves is playing really good basketball. They're number one in the West right now.
I didn't know they was that good.
They're in defensive rating. They're number one. They're the number one rated defense in the NBA right now.
They are the number one seed in the West right now.
Yeah. They're number one seed in the West, number one rated defense. Rudy Gobert and Cat and Edwards is showing that they can work together. But I got us getting a W in that game. Mitchell Robinson going to sun Rudy Gobert. He's going to make Rudy Gobert.
They won last night off of Cat. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was going to be some upheaval after Draymond threw Rudy Gobert. I thought he was going to be like, yo, y'all don't fuck with me like that. I'm off this. I don't want to be a Minnesota Timberwolf no more.
But ain't nobody do nothing.
Yeah, it looked right. Like Draymond. The dude put him in a and they just like, I need you to hit him.
Yeah, so
I don't know, man. That's on them. They not putting Nets. It is what it is. They winning games.
Yeah. So like I said, I think Mitchell Robinson going to absolutely sun Rudy Gobert. I think when you look at the matchup between Cat and Julius Randle, since Julius Randle been a Knick, he's 2-2 against Cat. But when you look at their individual stats versus each other, Julius Randle's been outshining Cat. averaging 25, 12, or 25. Is it 25? I think it's 12 or 13. I can't remember. 25, 12, and 5 or something like that versus Cat's 22, 10, and 6. You know what I mean?
That's
Not
gonna be
saying
a
that
good
Cat
game.
I'm not saying that Cat don't get his. I'm just saying Julius Randle usually outshines Cat when they go head to head since he's been a Knick. Uh, and Edwards, he's been playing amazing basketball. The reason why I think we're gonna win is because we have a lot of bodies we could throw at him. Pause. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, see, this is what I'm saying. Y'all just be saying anything, right? Y'all just be saying anything. How he's gonna foul out? Mitchell Robinson has been averaging 1.5 fouls a game since the beginning of the season. He's been actually staying out of foul trouble. So you just want to come here and say anything because you're a Net fan. Heard you. But anyway,
Shout out to
we got a
Jerron
lot of
Flex.
yeah, we got a lot of bodies we could throw at and different looks that we could give him because we got a lot of wing defenders. We got hopefully Quentin Grimes is healthy enough to play. We got Quentin Grimes, we got RJ Barrett, we got Josh Hart, we got DiVincenzo, we got Emmanuel quickly. These are all guys that can switch and guard Anthony Edwards. Not saying that we're going to stop him. Anthony Edwards is absolutely a special talent. I'm saying that we have the ability to make it a little bit difficult for him. And the way Jalen Brunson been shooting the basketball, finally is why I think we beat the Timberwolves. Uh, he's shooting a 3-point basket at like 40. He's like 47% from 3-point range so far this season. That's crazy. I don't think that number's going to stay throughout the whole season, but he's been absolutely in fuego. The team as a whole is shooting 37% from 3-point range. That's good enough for seventh in the NBA. That's why we beat those guys. I'm being long winded, so I'm gonna wrap up the other two games very quickly. We played the Heat on Friday. I think we beat the Heat because the Heat has been inconsistent uh, as far as what they do offensively. And I think we're a much better defensive team than we were last year, and we're a much better offensive team than we were last year. So I think we're gonna smoke those guys. I think this is a different version of Mitchell Robinson that they didn't play last year in the playoffs. He's gonna smoke Bam Adebayo, and that's why we beat them. And we're back. We only played 2 games before we come back, so I got us going 2-0 in summation. Oh, I don't know what Big Fan Breezy went. Yeah, I got us going 2-0 in summation. Uh, yeah, Leaf. I said what I said. Smoke them, smoke them, smoke them. You heard me. Smoke them. And what I mean by Mitchell Robinson smoking him, I mean that's another 15 rebound game, another 7 offensive rebounds, uh, 2 to 3 steals, and a block. That's what I got Mitchell stat line looking like. When I'm talking about Mitchell Robinson smoking people, is not on. Uh, when I'm talking about Mitchell Robinson smoking people, is not on the offensive end. Obviously, he don't score like that. But I'm talking about him being dominant in the paint. Is a different version of Mitchell Robinson than last year. This is not the same guy that Bam played in the playoffs. He's different. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by smoke. If it was any confusion, you know what I mean? Yes, there go Big Fair Breezy. Yeah, I think. Well, yeah. He's back. You know what I mean?
It
So
didn't take
yeah,
all right.
huh?
You was still good, all right.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, I ended by saying we're gonna be 2-0 because we only got 2 games before Saturday.
Okay. All right. Cool. 2-0. The next game we got is Philly, which is today. I'm gonna be honest. And this at the Barclays too. Lord of mercy. I mean, honestly, I want us to win this home game. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I'm gonna go. Hold on. I don't want to cap, man. They fucking tough right now. I ain't gonna hold you. Based off
hmm
just the integrity of it all, I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to say they might beat us today, man. I ain't gonna lie. I want to beat them though. Hold on. So we play Philly, we play Atlanta on the road. We're 3-3. We won 3 games on the road, lost 3 games on the road, won 3 games at home, lost 3 games at home. I think we beat Atlanta. I think we go in there and we beat them. So it'll be 1-1 before. Then we play on the 25th. The 25th is
That's
is,
Sa-
is what day?
that's Saturday night.
Saturday. Oh, so damn, we only got 2 games for real. Um, all right, so 1-1. I'm gonna say 1-1. I think we beat Atlanta. I think we might. Philly is a tough act. Excuse me. And I call it that way without Cam Thomas. With the way Philly is scoring the ball, I know they're gonna have their streaks where they go on runs, and it's gonna be hard to match their point production without Cam Thomas there. Atlanta, not so much. I feel like we could. They one of their better scorers is a guard, and I feel like Mikal Bridges could, be a tough act for us Trey Young, and we could win that game because most of their points come from either Deontay Murray or Trey Young. So I think we win that game because we could slow down their offense. In Atlanta, in Philly, I don't look for us to get blown out. I look for us to leave with our head held high at least. You know what I'm saying? Not to say I'm looking for a moral win. I'm not. I honestly think if I had to say how we could beat them, we're definitely without Ben Simmons. It's hard to say that we could push the pace. We're just gonna have to contest and play great defense, and there's gonna have to be maybe some X factors that off the bench that'll step up. Maybe a Trendon Watford. He could give Tobias Harris a hard time. Maybe Armani Brooks could keep us shooting at a high percentage from the 3-point line. Maybe he adds a Jalen Wilson in the lineup in the rotation where he could put pressure on the rim and maybe get Joel Embiid in foul trouble. Same for Lonnie Walker. Maybe he could get a Joel Embiid in foul trouble by putting pressure on the rim. So I don't want to say that we can't beat them. I disagree with that. I think that we definitely have a fair chance. Maybe the Nets fans in the building could, you know what I'm saying, shake the 76ers up a little bit, had them uncomfortable, you know what I mean, from the chants and the roars of the crowd, you know what I'm saying, and hopefully muster up a win that way. Or Spencer could go off. You know what I mean? Spencer, he's known to give Philadelphia's work, and maybe
I don't know if he froze or if that's me. Somebody's frozen. I don't know who froze. Oh, it's him? All right, good looking. Because I'm like, I've been having trouble with my service. But yeah, uh, I agree with a big fan Breezy with what's going to happen with the Brooklyn Nets.
uh,
I think I got y'all 1-1. Oh, there you go. He back. Go ahead. Keep on doing your thing,
um
Playboy.
yeah, but again, in closing, not to be long winded, shout to y'all, shout to the chat. I think we 1-1. Hopefully 2-0. Hopefully we go 2-0, but I definitely got us 1-1 coming into next week's podcast.
Yeah. Now I got y'all 1-1 as well. Like I said, I just think Philly is playing too good right now. And missing Cam Thomas points is going to hurt y'all.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's going to hurt y'all. And Tyrese is going to put up some numbers, man. That kid is showing to be something special. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I like Nick Clax, but he always have trouble with those bigger fives. Pause. And Joel Embiid is really that guy, and he's gonna have a hard time defending him tonight. Uh, to this afternoon. But yeah, I got you. In Atlanta, Atlanta's trash, bro. Y'all gonna beat Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
What I want y'all, I'm rally. Listen, this is the one time you're gonna hear me ever. I hate Atlanta Hawks more than I hate the Brooklyn Nets.
That's
So
great.
I need I need all the Brooklyn Net fans to travel to Atlanta, go to the arena, and when y'all smoking them, I need to hear Brooklyn chants throughout that game. That's what I want to hear.
That would be fire.
That's what I want to hear because it's always forever. Fuck Trey Young. You feel me? So yeah, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear when y'all beating the Hawks. You know what I mean? I want to hear Brooklyn all through the arena because I hate the Hawks. I hate Trae Young. You're right, Leaf. I hate him. I hate him because the absolute disrespect of him thinking that it was cool for him to wear the King of Broadway sneakers in the Garden. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he lost that game.
Yeah, he did.
And he's 5 of 14 lifetime regular season playing the Knicks. You know what I mean? So the king of what? You know what I mean?
Right. In closing, I just wanted to say, we don't need players like Trae Young. He was in conversations about trade talk with us early in the offseason, but no. But case in point is, I don't like him or superstars that do too much. You know, he's another one who get coaches fired. I think since he's been in the NBA, he's under his third head coach now. I know there was Nate McMillan there, and there was another one there. Now he's with Quinn Snyder. So, I mean, for him not to win a championship and you just getting coaches fired all willy-nilly, like win a championship then get a coach fired. You ain't win no championship. You just out here getting coaches fired. Shit, I thought Nate McMillan was a pretty decent coach. So we don't have that issue no more with the Brooklyn Nets. Shout out to Jock Vaughn. I like the 9-10-man rotation you got going on. Shout out to you, bro. I fully support Jock Vaughn.
Last thing about, I hate Trae Young's game. I hate his game. He's a foul merchant. I fully believe that if he didn't get to the line as many times as he did, or searching contact and throwing his body around, soon as somebody touch him, he would average like 17, 18 points a game. He wouldn't be a high 20-point scorer. It's just because he plays looking for ref help all game. Like, it's nasty work to see. Soon as somebody touch him, he throws his body. You feel me? Like, and
I don't like
that's nasty work. I hate that. I hate that style of basketball. And that's another reason why I dislike Trae Young. You know what I mean? Alongside with him being corny and doing the things that he doing too much. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I hate the way he plays basketball.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Brooklyn Nets. I'm glad and I didn't do it, but I'm gonna find out when the last time we was a top 5 rebounding team, and I'm gonna get back to y'all because it's nice to see. You know what I mean? It was one of our biggest deficiencies for a long time, and now that we a good rebounding team, it feels good. So I like the direction of the Brooklyn Nets. So I mean, that's all I do.
I did the research when you was talking about that before. I knew he was up there, but the Knicks is number 2 in rebounding, which is fire. You know what I mean? We number 2. Boston is number 1, and it only makes sense. Boston got like mad tall people. They got mad tall people playing for the Celtics, so it only makes sense that they're number 1. But it's good to see. It's good to see. To wrap up, I said, on Knicks and Ish a while ago when we were struggling, I said, I know we're going to be a top 5 defensive team, and by the end of the season, we're going to be a top 10 offensive team. I didn't expect us to move up to the top 10 in offense so quickly, and it's good to see. You know what I mean? Let's go Knicks, and we see y'all next week.
And I appreciate y'all, man. Dope show, tea time. Shout out to the chat. Nets fans heavy in the chat today. Excuse me. I see y'all Knicks fans, but we was heavy in the chat today, so that's a win for us. Hopefully we carry this over, help the Brooklyn Nets beat the 76ers. But yeah, man, have a good day, y'all, man. Peace.
All right. Peace.